Hey y'all, it's Marsai Martin, and I want to welcome you to our incredible show, SheEO, presented by Walmart. And you know, the title is a play on CEO, the acronym of Chief Executive Officer. And we mix that in with the word she because around here, we think fierce women and especially powerful women of color should be profiled, lifted up, and listened to for their advice, their wisdom, and the inspiration that they bring. You know, speaking of which, today we are honored to be sitting down with none other than the amazing Dr. Lisa Williams. Dr. Williams is a trailblazing academic, entrepreneur, award-winning author, and speaker. And she's the first female professor to receive a multi-million-dollar endowed chair and the first African-American woman to receive tenure at Penn State University. Fast forward a few years later, she changed course to have founded the world's largest Black-owned multicultural doll company. Just a few companies she's partnered with include Disney, Walmart, Marvel's Black Panther, for which she was honored with Doll of the Year, the highest award given in the toy industry. Dr. Lisa Williams, welcome to SheEO, presented by Walmart.
Hey, how are you? Oh, it's so good to meet you.
So nice to meet you. Okay, yellow. I'm
Okay.
into it. Man, I feel like there's so many things to talk about. You have done so much. I feel like you're like a legend, constantly.
Oh, about to you, my sister.
Raising
About to you.
the bar. And I want to know so much, but I want to start from the very beginning for you. What was, like, really just what got you started, really?
You know, my life has been like a patchwork. Things that initially didn't seem like they were connected at all. Like, I loved education. So I went to school and I kept going. I kept going. To ultimately, I had a PhD. And it turned out that I was the first African-American female to get a PhD from the Ohio State University. Yeah.
Whoa.
So then I went on to become like the highest ranking person in the field. I had not one, but two multi-million-dollar endowments. So, I mean, life was good, girl. When I say good, it was good. I mean, I was teaching PhDs, MBAs, business executives. I was ranked internationally for my research. I was loving life. But you know, one day I was sitting down watching a doll study. And on this doll study, they were asking these beautiful children, what doll do they want to play with?
And I think I remember, I literally remember the same thing because my parents wanted me to watch that when I was like really, really young. I remember that.
The study is so powerful. I mean, it was started by Kenneth and Mamie Clark. And this one beautiful little girl said she wanted to play with the white doll because the black doll's skin was nasty. I know, a strong word.
Nasty is crazy.
Nasty is real crazy.
When I say nasty, it's like, oh,
like
that's like disgusting, basically.
And then it gets worse because they asked her, is your skin nasty? And she touched her hand and said, yes. Sometimes. That really gets me because any child who believes that their skin is disgusting or nasty, we have a problem. We have a problem not only in our community, but we have a problem in society. Seeing that television interview changed my life. My whole trajectory of my life changed. That day, I was moved to stop being a professor, to leave everything that I'd known behind, to leave all the accolades, all the awards, all of it, to start doing a doll company.
Wow. And going back to the how of it all, like you had such a strong passion, but yet you kind of really didn't know where to start. How did you figure out that how? Who did you talk to? Who were the people that helped you create that lane for yourself?
The internet, because I knew nothing. I had no money, no mentoring, no guidance, no internship, no education.
Yeah.
I just had this passion.
Right.
So I started out looking on the internet. How do you make dolls?
Right.
Where do you go to make dolls? And I ended up finding a factory. I called and we talked and they said, okay, come. So me, passion-driven yet silly, hopped on a flight to go to China. Can't speak the language, don't have a friend there, don't know anything. But that's when it hit me. You on the other side of the world. Nobody knows where you are. You can't call nobody. You can't speak the language. You just here.
Yeah.
But that's how passionate I was about doing. That's how I knew this had to be done. So when I got to the factory, they were very nice, very kind to me, but they knew I knew nothing about doing dolls or making them. They tried to convince me to go ahead and use all the existing face sculpts they already had.
Okay.
So now there were literally closets full of face sculpts, right? So they're saying, just pick any one of these faces and just put brown paint on it, and that'll be your black doll. Because trust me, doing a new sculpt is so expensive, you don't want to do that. Plus, he added, plus, Black people don't care.
Oh.
So when he said that to me, I got a stick up my back. I was like, wait, no. We might be buying what's on the shelf. That's because we don't have a choice.
Right.
But I'm going to give us a choice. And I want to start from scratch doing these face sculpts. Now, keep in mind, I ain't know nothing about making no face sculpt. But I knew it had to be real and it had to be authentic.
Right.
And so somewhere I was able to convince them that they need to rock with this sister who don't know nothing about dolls, but who has a passion. So they agreed to allow me to work on my own dolls and to do them from the ground up. So I have one-of-a-kind face sculpts. We have custom blended skin tones. We have body shapes that are thicker, kind of like ours. We have hair texture that can be washed and styled and braided and twist out, curly, all of that, because that's authentic.
The whole nine.
All of it.
That is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, to piggyback on that, did you have any real mentors or people that you looked up to growing up?
Oh, growing up, yeah. In my family, my mom was an entrepreneur.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she actually had a nursery or daycare in our basement. So these beautiful young children would come by every morning and she would take such loving care of them. And then I would saw her do the business aspect. Every Friday, she was reconciling her accounts. So I do remember that as a child. And I think it had an impact also. And so she's an entrepreneur. She's an inspiration. My uncle had his own business. So we do have a series of entrepreneurs in my family.
No, that's nice. That's nice, especially when they know the hustle, they know the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
So, I mean, to go back to your childhood and what you grew up around, did you grow up around dolls and were you into them? Like
you know what?
Now?
I did not think I was. What I remember as a child is loving education. Loving school. I was a teacher's pet. I was always the one who was, turned the assignments in early and got all the good grades. But I also remember vividly playing with my dolls virtually every day after school. And what I would do is I would line my dolls up and then I put a chalkboard in the center and then I would teach them the day's lesson.
Oh.
So I always viewed that was me being committed to education.
Yeah.
But the fact that I lined my dolls up to teach them also indicates that there was some long-term history of me valuing and interacting with dolls and with toys.
That is hilarious, because I used to do that with my dolls too. I used to make these red carpets. Literally, like I would take my grandma's scarves and then I would have my dolls walk the carpet. It'd be like Thanksgiving, and I'd be like, you got this doll, you got this doll, get them dressed, we go to the carpet. I was like, yes, like 4, 3, like around that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's when it starts.
Well, it seemed like you went through all these different journeys to get to the place that you are today. But what were some of the challenges that you had to face, especially being a Black woman? Like, what were those ups and downs for you?
It's like, which one? And how much time do we have? First of all, I guess I would say financing. You know, finance is always really, really a challenge. And when we look at venture capitalist funding, how much money Black women do not receive, we're like at 0.02%. So venture capital options were not viable for me. So I did what most people do. I leveraged my retirement. I leveraged my home. I leveraged my credit. I leveraged everything to get the money to do these dolls. That's how passionate I was. And, you know, being an entrepreneur is not an easy journey. At least it hasn't been for me. And so in that journey, I lost. And I made mistakes. And I sometimes partnered with the wrong people. And because of that, there were really significant losses. I mean, in this journey, I have suffered bankruptcy. I've suffered my home being repossessed, all of that. But I don't regret a thing because I still believe that in all those sacrifices I made one child's life a little bit better. And because I made that one child's life a little bit better, it's okay. And now I'll tell you a story about partnership. My very first dolls we're doing. I'd gone over to China many times, finally got them to do the doll the way I wanted, the Afro puffs and everything. I'm like, yes, got this, did it beautifully. The doll ships. My buyer calls me. He says, Dr. Lisa. And it's like your mother. I could tell the way he said, Dr. Lisa, there was a
Oh,
problem.
right. It was about
You know,
to be something.
I knew it was a problem.
Mm.
Long story short, he said that en route, the supplier, the factory, shorted the hair. Hair is also very expensive on dolls. They
Okay.
shorted it. So there was hair around the perimeter of the doll, but inside it was bald.
What did you do?
It said, we can put them on sale because they're defective.
Right.
And I appreciate that. But I said no, because that's going to show our little girls that they're less than. The whole purpose of this company is to show that they are equal to or more than what they thought before. So selling them a doll that was bald, that's not the message.
It's not the message.
So I told Walmart to send them back. So remember, fast forward, there's the bankruptcy. Because when you're doing dolls or anything, you have to come out of your pocket, pay the factory, ship them over, and you make your money once the product is sold. Well, in this case, I told them not to sell the product. And I made a conscious decision. I was fully aware. I knew what my accounting said, and I knew that I wasn't going to get none of this money back. It goes back to your why. It was more important to me that these little girls see dolls that reflect their beauty and their brilliance. And a bald doll is not it. So that was the bankruptcy. And that was one time.
That's a challenge.
It was a challenge, but if I was doing it for money, then I would say, oh yeah, sell them.
I got you.
Right? But it wasn't about the money. It's all about changing and uplifting and inspiring children.
It makes it easier, too, to make that decision when you know it's solely just based off of what you know that needs to be out there.
And that's the self-knowing and self-awareness that I talked about. Like, right, I'm partnering with these amazing companies. We're winning awards. We're being recognized. Children's lives are being changed and impacted. So it's all a part of a grand journey, but you don't know that when you're in the midst of it.
Yeah.
You just got to keep plugging and plowing and moving through.
And looking back, it's like, wow, I really went through this to get to here, and it was all worth it, I guess. Would you say?
Absolutely, no question about it. It was all worth it.
I want to know, how did you put this amazing passion into stores?
I will tell you, I was very fortunate and blessed in that, because I was the highest ranking person in my field, but I was a professor at the University of Arkansas in the Sam M. Walton College of Business.
Okay.
So I had a relationship with Walmart. So actually, to be totally transparent, they asked me to do the dolls initially. And I was like, I'm a college professor.
Right.
Right? I don't do dolls. I don't know nothing about them.
Wow.
And I always say this, Walmart saw something in me I did not see in myself. They believed I could do it. So I didn't, and I told them no, not once, not twice, 3 times. I said no. It wasn't until I saw that little girl on television who said her skin was nasty that I was moved to do it. So once I had identified factories and I had the dolls, then I went to Walmart and said, okay, I'm
ready. Basically, you're ready.
Yeah.
What did it feel like when you saw what you created on those shelves?
It is still a dream come true. You know, to know that something from your heart, that you were able to work with very talented and passionate people also to create something that I really believe are changing the lives of our children. There is nothing like it. There really are no words to express the immense honor.
That is amazing. And you were also Walmart Supplier of the Year.
Oh my gosh, yes, I was Walmart Supplier of the Year. Without Walmart, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
Their support has made all the difference in the world. It touches me to my core. It's my purpose. And I'm just honored that I'm the one that the universe selected to be able to do it.
No, I understand completely. And I mean, I want to know, like, you've done so much. You've done so much, it's insane. But I want to know, what advice do you have for other women that want to succeed just like you?
Number one, I always say the greatest gift to me of being an entrepreneur was my own self-discovery. Because before I did it, as I said earlier, you know, there was no mentoring, no money, no advice, no partner, nothing, right?
Right.
And so I had to learn that I could do it. And I had to learn that deep within me was the power to accomplish any of my goals. And instead of looking at the fact that I didn't have mentoring, I didn't have education in that particular area, I didn't have money, and I didn't know how dolls were supposed to be done. But then I realized that was my superpower.
Mm-hmm.
That was my strength. But because I wasn't forced into a mindset of how it had to be done, I was free and liberated to create from my heart and from my passion. So I would just say to people, don't try to figure out the how. Because if you try to figure out the how, you get stuck in that treadmill and you'll never get out. Just take one step at a time. Today, what can you do towards your dream? Just do that. Once you realize the power that resides within you, and it's a lot of time laying dormant, once you awaken that, then you can do anything and you'll realize that. And that inner power will take you to places you can't even dream of today. Then the other thing is have your why.
Yeah,
Have your why. And your why cannot be money. I have to stress that because people are, oh, I want to make a lot of money. If you want to make a lot of money, don't be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because it takes a long time to get there.
Yes,
you will get there. Patience.
And then when you get there, it's kind of like temporary happiness.
Say that, girl. Say that. It's temporary happiness. Money is not anything that's going to give you long-term peace. It's not going to give you that legacy you want to leave behind. So know your why. And if your why is about uplifting humanity and making lives better for someone else, you're going to be satisfied every day.
Wow.
Because you're going to realize there's something small you did today that positively impacted someone.
I want to know a little bit more about the Doll of the Year award.
Ooh.
What year was that?
Recent, last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how was that for you when you received that award?
I am still pinching myself. So first of all, to be able to work with Marvel on Black Panther, out of all the films, that was like, it's such powerful women of color in that movie.
Right.
That just really rocked me, right? So to be able to do these dolls, we actually create patent pending hair. So we wanted to make sure that that was authentic. So we created that locks, and it's patent pending. We custom blended all of their skin tones. We made their bodies representative of warriors and strong women. So it was so gratifying to create a doll that I thought honored them and honored the story, that I really was quite satisfied with that. But then I have to tell you, the thing is when you're getting an award, and I know you know all about this, and they're pulling that envelope open, and they're pulling out the name, and they read your name, it was something spectacular. For a moment, the world stood still because I couldn't believe it. Out of all the major companies, here's this little company that wouldn't give up, that won the award. And when I won it, I was making very sure that I represented our little girls. It's all about representation, from the dolls that I do, to the charities that we give in, to the scholarships that we do, to how I show up.
Yeah.
It's important because sometimes I'm going to be the only Black and brown face they see.
Absolutely.
And so when they see this face, they need to know that this face is their face, and it's just an indication of what they can achieve.
And on top of that, on stage with that award, making it happen.
Making it happen. First time ever a Black company won. First time ever a Black woman won. First time. So again, it was important. But what really makes it all worthwhile for me is when I see a little child playing with those dolls, or when I hear them saying, Mommy, Mommy, I want this doll because she looks just like me. That's when it's all worth it. That's the highest award that me and my team ever receive, is when we hear that.
You really are making a difference, constantly raising the bar. And I want you to know, I have a little sister that's 6. Kids like me, kids like her, all around the world, you are truly making a difference. And listen, you are constantly not just inspiring the toy industry, but also just Black women entrepreneurs, and making it happen and making it work, and not just doing it for a transaction.
No,
and yeah, listen, this show is all about giving flowers. So we want to give you your flowers, and we appreciate you for being here, for sure.
Thank you so much. It has truly been my honor. An honor to talk to you.
Oh my gosh, no, it's been an honor to talk to you. Nice to meet you in person. And yeah, no, thank you so, so much. Appreciate it. Dr. Lisa Williams is a legend, y'all. From a renowned career in academia to creating the world's largest Black-owned multicultural doll company, you cannot tell this SheEO nothing. The work that she's done for young children to see themselves represented is profound, and she is no doubt making an impact across the world. Her passion is very clear, and so is her purpose, and it drives every decision that she makes. And I have had so much fun learning about her story and seeing the way that her passion is a driving force in her life. Thank you guys so much for watching, and be sure to check out all of our other SheEO episodes presented by Walmart.